Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem, amma ba'd. Hajj का बयान हो रहा है. Last week we were up to the Ziarah of Madinah Sharif, and we mentioned that there is great virtue for visiting Madinah Sharif, visiting the Rawdah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam and the Masjid of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. One should make intention first that I'm going to visit my Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and the other things come after him, whether it's Madinah or it's Masjid Nabawi or other Ziarah, everything after Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And when a person reaches Madinah Munawarrah, these days, normally when the Haji gets to Madinah Munawarrah, before Madinah Munawarrah there is a checkpoint, and the coach goes inside and they serve some Madinah dates and some snacks, some bottle of water, some croissant or bread, and this is a gift from Madinah Munawarrah, and we should take it as a gift from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is Rasulullah's tawajjuh which inspired them to make these arrangements. So if one thinks of it as a gift from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how he will feel that Rasulullah's hadiyah is here, and he will eat with love and muhabbat. Every khajur and every sip of water he will take with love and muhabbat of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I remember my Hazrat Maulana Yusuf Mutala Sahab, he used to say, when we come here for Ramadan and we sit in Masjid Nabawi at the time of iftar and just make muraqabah and think that we are making iftar with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his masjid. Oh, the whole masjid is filled with Zaireen who are busy in their du'as, in their salatu salam, in their tilawat, in their zikr and tasbihat, and some in their muraqabah, some near the Rawzah of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we just ponder and contemplate that I am opening my Rawzah in the company of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If just one makes just this thought, then it is enough for his safar to be wusul. His safar is accepted, no matter how much money he spent. But because of this concentration which he got, and this love of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this thought of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all his money which he spent will be worthwhile. So, when we get to Madinah Munawwarah, we get this gift from there. We take it with love, muhabbat, keep it in good place. We eat as much as we want, and whatever is left over, keep it. We take it to our hotel, take it there. After that, the coach will move on, go to the Pilgrims Reception Center, and there we have to wait. Sometimes half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, it can take a long time. There is a huge hall over there. There is a kiosk where you can buy some tea, coffee, and place for salat and istinja wuzu as well. So Hujjaji Kiram should go and relieve themselves, and after that, when the bus driver calls out, we should go to our coaches and क्या चीज़ है? अच्छा, ये तो है, चलते हैं, ले लो, खाते खाते बोलना पड़ेगा।
नहीं, ज़ुबान के लिए रखना।
बिस्मिल्लाह।
इंशाअल्लाह, इंशाअल्लाह शफा होगी।
अल्लाह माफ़ी करेगा। So when we get to, नहीं है, जी नहीं जा रहा।
वापिस बाद में ले लो।
बाद में ले ले।
पानी पी, पानी।
नहीं, पानी पी। So when we get to Madinah Munawwarah, and before we get to the Pilgrim Reception, another one reception center where the passports are being sorted out, we have to stay there for a while. Then we proceed to our place. Over here, it would be advisable if we can perform istinja, wuzu, because now we are going to enter the city of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we should try and enter the city with wudu, and with wuzu, and with concentration, and with salatu salam on our lips. And when you are called, go and sit inside the coach, and the coach will move on, and now you will be entering the city. When you enter the city of Madinah Munawwarah, you have to make the dua similar to that one which you made when you entered Makkah Mukarramah. Over here, you should say, Allahumma inna hadha haramu nabiyyik, faharrim luhumana wa basharatana ala an-nar, waj'alhu lana amanan wa wiqayatan min al-azab. That, oh Allah, this is the haram of your beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So make our flesh, our bones, our bodies haram upon Jahannam, and make this haram a source of aman and protection and safeguarding from the punishment of Jahannam for us. Make it a source of safeguarding from Jahannam for us. Make this dua and keep yourself busy in Durood Sharif. When you see Gumbad Khazra or the minarets of Masjid Nabawi, increase your Durood Sharif. And if you happen to, when you are going to your hotel, if you happen to pass by Rawza Sharifa, then as I mentioned earlier, Bilal Sahab, sometimes he would just get into some ecstasy and he would stand up and then he would read Durood Sharif. This is just something else which cannot be described. It doesn't happen to everybody. So only some people, you say Salat and Salam, As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Rasulullah, As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Habibullah. Realize that now you are in the city of Madinah Munawarrah. Get to your hotel and leave your belongings, settle down in your room, have a shower, wear some nice clothes and put some perfume on, and then proceed to Masjid Nabawi Sharif. It is desirable, mustahab, to wear nice clothes, wash yourself, put perfume on. Shaykh Yunus Sahab, one journey I was with him in Umrah before Ramadan, and Shaykh was getting ready for Jummah or something. He said, "Kapde nikalo." So I took the clothes out from back, and he said, No, this is brand new, and I have brought these for wearing in Madinah Munawwarah. Get the other pair out." So he took the other pair and then he wore them and he went for it. He kept that brand new pair for Madinah Munawwarah. He had specially had it sewn and prepared for Madinah Munawwarah. And he wore it when he went to Madinah Munawwarah. And it looks really nice and beautiful, handsome in those new clothes. And this is our Mashayikh's muhabbat and love and azmat for Madinah Sharif. So wear some nice new clothes and go to Masjid Nabawi Sharif. When you are going to Masjid Nabawi Sharif, give some sadaqah on the way if you can. Because Allah says in the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu idha najaytumur rasul faqaddimu bayna yaday najwakum sadaqah dhalika khayrun lakum wa athhar fa in lam tajidu fa inna Allaha ghafurur rahim. O you who have believed, when you engage in conversation with Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then before you start your conversation, offer some sadaqah, charity. Then Allah revealed, if you can't do it, if you are unable to do so, no problem, Allah is Ghafurur Rahim. Hazrat Ali Karramallahu Wajhahu says, when this ayat was revealed, I was the first one to practice upon it. Before coming to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and having a meeting with him, conversation, I offered some sadaqah. And then I talked to him. As soon as I had finished, Allah revealed another ayat in which Allah said, أَأَشْفَقْتُمْ أَن تُقَدِّمُوا بَيْنَ يَدَيْ نَجْوَاكُمْ صَدَقَاتٍ فَإِذْ لَمْ تَفْعَلُوا فَتَابَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْكُمْ وَأَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ وَاللَّهُ خَبِيرٌ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ. That are you fearful that every time we come to talk to the Prophet we have to give sadaqah? We're going to get poor. Where are we going to get so much money from? So Allah said, no problem, you don't need to give sadaqah every time. Allah Pak has turned towards you, He has let you off. Obey Allah and His Rasul, because Allah is fully aware of whatever you do. So in light of this, the first ayat, give sadaqah if you can. Hazrat Shaykhul Hadith Maulana Muhammad Zakaria rahmatullahi alayhi, it was his habit that he would, when he would arrive at Madinah Munawwarah, before going to Masjid Nabawi, he would give some sadaqah. And because during those times the bawab, the doorkeepers, were poor, they were from Yemen, and they had very low wages, so Hazrat Shaykh rahmatullahi would give his sadaqah to them. And they would be, when they would see Hazrat Shaykh rahmatullahi, they would be really happy because they knew that he would give them something. And at that time they would be very courteous, and they would even take our slippers or shoes, put them at a good place, look after them, and then when we would come out, they would offer our shoes and slippers to us. They would do khidmat of the Hujjaj. So Hazrat Shaykh Rahmatullahi would normally give some sadaqah every time he would go for salat and salam. So before giving salat or salam, give some sadaqah. Then enter Masjid Nabawi in the manner which you would enter any masjid. Right foot first, then left foot, and with dua. Allahumma aftah li abwaab rahmatik waghfir li dhunubi. Bismillah dakhaltu wa alayhi tawakkaltu wa nawaitu sunnat al-i'tikaf. Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So read this salatu salam and this dua and then enter Masjid Nabawi with utmost humbleness and humility and proceed towards the Riyazul Jannah. Riyazul Jannah is that area which is between Jali Mubarak and Mimbar of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So let's say if this is Qibla Sharif in Masjid al-Nabawi and you come from this side, then you will see there is this square Jali Mubarak, like a metal sort of net or something, and which is square and it surrounds the Rawla of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So with that Jali Mubarak, and here is the members of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this area is called Riyazul Jannah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ma bayna bayti wa mimbari rawdatun min riyadil Jannah." That area between my house and my mimbar is a garden from the gardens of Jannah. What is the meaning of this hadith? Number one, some ulama say it means that this piece of land was brought from Jannah and it will be taken back to Jannah. Others say that number two, that when a person sits there, prays salat, zikr, durood sharif, then the time he spends in that area is exactly similar to his spending time in Jannah. So while he is there, it is as though he is sitting in Jannah. Because in Jannah is the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So over here is also the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is extremely happy and pleased with this person who is sitting over here. That is why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that this is a piece of Jannah. And when you sit there, you do some a'mal of Jannah, Allah is very happy with you. He showers His mercy upon you, just as His rahmat and mercy is being showered upon those who are in Jannah. The hur, the malaika, the ghilman, the khuddam of Jannah who are busy in getting ready and preparing the Jannah. Jannah is being created. It's already there. There are hur and ghilman and khuddam there. So Allah's rahmah is descending upon them. Similarly, Allah's rahmah is descending over here on this piece of garden of Jannah. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, this area is Rawdatun min Riyazil Jannah. So when you go inside, get to Riyazul Jannah immediately when you go inside and pray 2 rakat salat over there. Surah Qul Ya Ayyuhal Kafirun and Qul Huwallahu if you can, because Qul Ya Ayyuhal Kafirun is Bara'atun min shirk and Qul Huwallahu Ahad is Suratul Ikhlas, Iqrar of Tawheed and oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So read 2 rakats over here and make dua. Thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for bringing you here. And if you can make du'as over here, and if you can read some couplets while you are there, Hazrat Mufti Shafi Sahab Rahmatullah Alayhi is real nice nazam. फिर पेश नजर गुंबद खजरा है हरम है, फिर पेश नजर गुंबद खजरा है हरम है, फिर शुक्र खुदा सामने मेहराब नबी है, फिर सर है मेरा और तेरा नक्श कदम है, मेहराब नबी है कि कोई तूर तजल्ली, मेहराब नबी है कि कोई तूर तजल्ली, दिल शौक से लबरेज है और आंख भी नम है, फिर बारगहे सैयदे कौनैन में पहुंचा, देख ये उनका करम उनका करम उनका करम है, फिर मिन्नते दरबान का एजाज मिला है, देख उनके गुलामों का भी क्या जाहो हशम है. तो when he says this, he is visualizing that moment, that Muhammad Khazra is in front of me, now I am entering Masjid Nabawi, I can see that Riyazul Jannah, I can see the mihrab of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam where he used to stand and pray, because over here there is mihrab of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. You can see where the mihrab, where he used to pray. When Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam passed away, Sayyiduna Abu Bakr Siddiq radiyallahu anhu, he extended the wall of mihrab and he stretched it so that where the Prophet ﷺ used to make sajda, that area would be covered, and nobody could place his foot on the place where Rasulullah used to do sajda. So now, when a person does sajda, his forehead will fall at the place where Rasulullah used to stand and his feet used to be. And it was kept in that order after that time. And even in the time of the Turks, Sultan Abdul Hamid Khan, when he renovated the masjid and made the again, so at that time he left it in that same state. And when you perform, when you pray salat over there and perform sajda, your forehead will be at the place where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's feet were. So that mihrab is there, that mimbar is there. The original mimbar on which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to give khutbah, that is not there at the moment because it only had 3 steps. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to climb on the 3rd step when he used to give khutbah. When Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu became Khalifa, he sat on the 2nd step where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to place his feet. When Umar ibn Khattab was made Khalifa after Abu Bakr, he used to sit on the 1st step where Abu Bakr's feet were. And then when Umar passed away, Osman came, he had no other place to sit. He had to climb onto the top. He said, where am I going to sit? There is no other place for me to sit. So he had to climb on it. So this was the respect of Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu, Umar radiallahu anhu for one another. So that mimbar was there until the 5th century. And in the 5th century, once a fire erupted in Masjid al-Nabawi, and the whole interior of the masjid was burnt in that fire. So during that time, the mimbar Sharif was also burnt, and now there is another new mimbar, but it's at that spot where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's mimbar was. Today's mimbar is quite big. I think it's got about 10-12 steps, and the Imam climbs on the top when he is giving the khutbah, and it's made from aluminium and it's covered in a gold and silver color. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said that this spot is Riyazul Jannah. You go over there, you pray 2 rakat namaz, make some du'as, and then proceed for salah. When you come out of Riyadul Jannah, there will be small entrances or exits. You go out in front of the exit and you come on the wall of Qibla. Like this is the Qibla side. So you come on the Qibla side and you slowly move towards Muwajah Sharif. When you get to Muwajah Sharif, maybe let's see if you can find some naqsha over here. When you get to Muwajah Sharif, ये है, इसमें हज़रत शेख रहमतुल्लाह अलैह ने नक्शा दिया है. ये नक्शा नजर आ रहा है? हाँ जी, इसमें समझ नहीं पड़ेगी, लेकिन हम समझाते हैं, अभी देखते हैं, कोशिश करते हैं. Let's say this is Bab Jibril. You entered from here. नजर आ रहा? नहीं नजर आ रहा?
Too much reflection.
अच्छा, लाइट का.
ठीक करें.
अच्छा, this is Bab Jibril. You enter from here and you come over here, and this is Riyadul Jannah. You pray 2 rakats over here. You see this area, this is Jali Mubarak. डॉक्टर साहब नजर आ रहा? ये है जाली मुबारक. सही है डॉक्टर साहब? कोई भूल हो तो कहिएगा. So यहाँ से when you come inside, you pray 2 rakats over here somewhere in this area of Riyadul Jannah, and then you proceed and you come out, exit from that area into this area which is Qibla side. Today the Imam stands over here, and over here is the mihrab of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and over here is the mimbar of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Mihrabun Nabi mimbar. This is the mimbar, this is mihrab. So the area between this mimbar and this Jali Mubarak, the house of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is called Riyazul Jannah. So you, for going for salam, you get out of here and then you move forward. And as you turn left, and you come towards this side. Now this door of Masjid Nabawi is called Babu Salam. When there is too much rush, then they don't let you enter from here. These entrances are closed off. Police stand over here, army, and they don't let you come out. They say you have to go from Babu Salam. So you have to get out of somewhere over here and come from this Babu Salam. And you come from this Babu Salam, and there is a gate over here called Babul Baqi. So you get out of this gate and straight outside. When you come over from this side, come here for Salatu Salam, this is where you have to stand. This is the qabr of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, qabr of Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq, qabr of Sayyidina Abu Umar al-Faruq radiyallahu anhu. So Rasulullah's at the front, and where his chest or maybe his feet are is the head of Abu Bakr Siddiq, and where Abu Bakr Siddiq's chest or feet are, there is the head of Hazrat Umar radiyallahu anhu, and in this manner they are buried. We come from here, we stand over here, and we say Salat and Salam to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam while we are facing this Rawza Sharifah. And then we move a little bit and say Salam to Abu Bakr Siddiq. We move a little bit and say Salam to Umar Faruq. And then we go back and say Salam to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then we stand over here and make du'as. We can make dua while we are facing Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or we can turn towards Qibla and make dua. However, it is among the adab that we don't turn our back to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We either move towards this side or that side, and then stand over here and then make dua. So, now, when you have recited your salat, made your du'as, and you go for Salatu Salam, you must try and stand, at a place where you are not disturbing anybody else. Because there will be many times there is a huge crowd and people are rushing. So stand behind as much as you can near the wall. And if you go at a time when there is not much rush, normally after namaz there is too much rush. So don't go after namaz straight away, after salat. Wait for half an hour, 45 minutes. When the rush breaks down, then the army is also cooled down and they let people in. So that time when you go, you get some time to stand and say salam with focus and attention. So you stand over there in front of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and you say As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Rasulullah, As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Habiballah, As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Nabiyallah, As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya khayra khalqillah, As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya khataman nabiyyin, As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya shafi' al-mudhnibin, As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya sayyid al-anbiya wal mursaleen, As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya imam al-muttaqeen. And in this way you change the attributes of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and repeating the word salat and salam. Both are mentioned from Mashayikh. You can either say as-salatu was-salamu, or you can say just as-salamu. Assalamu alayka, like you say in namaz, Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabiyyu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. So you can say that word, Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabiyyu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, while you are standing there. And keep reciting this, keep repeating. Don't shout and don't just keep quiet. Move your lips and say it with a faint voice, as though you are in the company of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And be like that when Sahabas were during his hayat, his life, when he was in his with his physical body in this dunya, how Sahabas used to come and show respect. So similarly, show respect and say with a faint voice, Assalamu alaikum ya Rasulullah. Don't shout, because Allah Pak has told us not to do so. Ya ayyuhal lazina amanu la tarfa'u aswatakum fawqa sawti an-nabi wa la tajharu lahu bil qawl kajahri ba'dikum li ba'din an tahbata a'malukum wa antum la tash'urun. O people, don't raise your voice over the voice of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and do not cry out and scream with your words in front of him. It is possible that your deeds may be wiped out and you may not perceive and know. إن الذين يغضون أصواتهم عند رسول الله أولئك الذين امتحن الله قلوبهم للتقوى لهم مغفرة وأجر عظيم. Surely those who lower their voices in the presence of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they are the ones whose hearts Allah has tested for taqwa. they have passed their test for the taqwa. لَهُمْ مَغْفِرَةٌ وَأَجْرٌ عَظِيمٌ. For them is maghfirat and ajr azim. That's why we stand there and with a faint voice we recite Assalamu alaikum ya Rasulullah. Maybe some mashayikh say read it 70 times. This is for people who don't know how to do it, how to recite. So they say count 70 times Assalamu alaikum ya Rasulullah. There are others who don't need to count, who just stand there and keep up with their salam. There are some who just say salam and then just keep quiet and they are engaged in the muraqabah. They don't have to say anything. They have this close attachment and they feel that closeness with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And they feel that like when you see some shu'a and rays of the sun coming out of the sun through the window into the room, so they can feel that the faiz and barakat is coming out of the heart of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they are getting portion and share of that faiz along with the other Zaireen who are stood over there. The millions of Zaireen who are there, they are all getting this light from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this ruhani faiz and barakat they are getting from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So they just stand there and they are focused upon their ziarah and upon their salam. So say salam as much as you can. And when you feel you are alhamdulillah now satisfied, then convey the salam of those who gave you, who told you to do so on their behalf. So we say, Ya Rasulullah, Dr. Mazhar Sahib has sent salam, Asif has sent salam, Shehzad has sent salam, Ghaznavi Sahib has sent salam, and all the students of Tafsir have salam. So we say that these, and they are all hoping for your du'as and your tawajjuh and your shafa'at and your intercession on the day of Qiyamah. So please keep us in your tawajjuh and in your du'as and intercede for us on the day of Qiyamah. So you convey their salams. You don't need to say it in Arabic, you can say it in Urdu, because Allah Pak has given Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam the ability to understand all languages. He can understand all languages, he can speak in all languages. The rule of the alam-e barzakh and the other world is something else, is another thing. So he will understand. You can say in your own language with love and muhabbat, in English, in Urdu, in any language, and he will understand. So convey their salams, and when you have conveyed their salams, you can ask for shafa'at for yourself as well. That, oh Allah, while you were alive, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, وَلَوْ إِنْ أَنَّهُمْ إِذْ ظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ جَاءُوكَ فَاسْتَغْفَرُوا اللَّهَ وَاسْتَغْفَرَ لَهُمُ الرَّسُولُ لَوَجَدُوا اللَّهَ تَوَّابًا رَحِيمًا. That if it was the case that when these munafiqeen wronged themselves, they came to you and they sought forgiveness from Allah, and Rasul also sought forgiveness for them, asked for forgiveness for them, then they would surely have found Allah oft returning and Rahim and most merciful. So, Ya Rasulullah, during your lifetime, whoever wronged, made mistake would come to you, you would seek forgiveness for him and he would be forgiven. Many instances, a person makes a mistake and he kisses a woman who comes in his shop to buy something, and immediately he realizes his mistakes. He rushes to Rasulullah and says, Ya Rasulullah, please clean me, I made a mistake. Whatever saza and had you have to inflict upon me, I am ready to take that saza. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam does not say anything. He says, go, pray wuzu, pray namaz. And he prays wuzu, does wuzu, prays namaz. Rasulullah also internally seeks forgiveness for him. After namaz, Allah Pak reveals the ayat, وَاقِمِ الصَّلَاةَ طَرَفَيِ النَّهَارِ وَزُلَفًا مِنَ اللَّيْلِ إِنَّ الْحَسَنَاتِ يُذْهِبْنَ السَّيِّئَاتِ ذَلِكَ ذِكْرَى لِلذَّاكِرِينَ. That hasanat wipe out sayyat, meaning his sayyat, his bad deed is forgiven. So Rasulullah called him to go, you are forgiven. Many instances. And Rasulullah used to make istighfar for the Sahaba. Jabir radiallahu anhu was once with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam on a journey, and his camel had stopped and was unable to proceed. So it had become lax and lazy and would not walk properly. Rasulullah's habit was that he would stay behind the caravan, so he could help anyone who needed help. So when he approached and Jabir was struggling with his camel, he asked, Jabir, what's happened? He said, Ya Rasulullah, I'm struggling and he's giving me a hard time. It's not running. So Rasulullah said, give me your stick. He took his stick and he smacked the camel from behind, and he just jumped and he started running. And then he started running so fast that Jabir had to hold his rein. It's rein. And Rasulullah was, his camel was also moving. He said, I had to keep holding it back because he was going ahead of Rasulullah. Now, Rasulullah said, Jabir, how is your camel? He said, Ya Rasulullah, asabathu wabarakatahu. Your barakat has come upon it and affected it. So Rasulullah said, Oh Jabir, then sell me your camel. Wallahu yaghfiru lak. Allah will forgive you. Give me your camel. So I said, Ya Rasulullah, I don't need to, you don't need to buy it. You can take it as a gift. And I said, no, I'm going to buy it from you. Wallahu yaghfiru lak. May Allah forgive you. Then Rasulullah was very fond of Jabir. He started talking to him. And he, sort of in a teasing manner, he said, can you sell me it for 1 dirham? He said, Ya Rasulullah, you can take it for free. Rasulullah said, 2 dirhams, 5 dirhams, 10 dirhams. Now this is a very cheap price for a camel. And in the end, every time Rasulullah used to say, Wallahu yaghfiru lak, Wallahu yaghfiru lak, Wallahu yaghfiru lak. Jabir says in the hadith of Muslim that during that journey, Rasulullah made 25 istighfar for me. 25 times he said, Wallahu yaghfiru lak, Wallahu yaghfiru lak, Wallahu yaghfiru lak, Wallahu yaghfiru lak. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to do istighfar for the Sahaba. Allah told him, وَاسْتَغْفِرْ لِذَنْبِكَ وَلِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ. Seek forgiveness for your mistakes and for mu'mineen and mu'minat. So, you stand there, you say, Rasulullah, people used to come to you and you used to seek forgiveness for them and Allah would forgive them. You have gone from this dunya. I am also your sinful servant, your slave, your servant, your ummati. I need forgiveness. Please seek forgiveness for me, so Allah forgive me as well. So you can say that over there in the presence of Rasulullah. So you stand there and you say your salatu salam, you convey the salams of others, and you ask Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam for his shafa'at and his intercession. And in this manner, you say your salam. After you have satisfied yourself, you have to remember one thing. While you are doing that, don't try and touch the Jali Mubarak or kiss Jali Mubarak. This is not right. Mullah Qari Rahmatullah and others have said that kissing is for Hajar Yaswad alone, the black stone in Makkah Mukarramah. And besides that, other places should not be kissed. Mullah Qari Hazrat Shaykh has narrated over here. So don't try and touch Jali Mubarak or kiss, because some people over there, they will be standing, they will say, oh, this, that. Although many people do so out of love and muhabbat, they are just bi-ikhtiyar. They can't control themselves. So if it happens to someone and he touches Jali Mubarak or kisses, it's his love and muhabbat. So he is not under any rules and regulations. This is beyond rules and regulations too. Even though the Salafis or those muraqibs who are standing over there, they don't let us touch Jali Mubarak, and they don't let us make dua facing Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, towards which subject I was coming. That Imam Malik rahmatullahi was asked by Abu Ja'far al-Mansur that after I finish my salam and I have to make dua, should I face Rawza Sharifa or should I turn towards Qibla and make dua? So Imam Malik rahmatullahi replied, how can you turn your back towards him? Let me read from here, as the Shaykh has narrated this. Because his words are really moving. Once Khalifa Mansur asked Imam Malik rahmatullahi, when saying a prayer at the grave of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, should one face Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam or towards the Qibla? Imam Malik rahmatullahi replied, how can you possibly turn your face away from him when he is your medium, yani wasila, and also the wasila of your father Adam alayhi salam? Turn your face to him and beg his intercession on your behalf, because Allah accepts his plea for you. Allama Zurqani Rahmatullah says that the story already quoted has been reported by Qazi Iyaz through very authentic sources which would be wrong to reject. This is in reference to another story mentioned above. Imam Malik Rahmatullah said that how can you turn your back towards him? Don't turn your back. He is your wasila, he is your medium. So face towards Rawda and make dua. To whom you are making dua? To Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But through the intercession and shafaat of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And he will also make plea and speak up for you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So face him and make dua. Today, the muraqibs, they don't let us do that. If we are making dua like that, hey, shirk, move, and they just move us from there. Or they turn us towards Qibla. Amazingly, if you go on YouTube, someone told me, you will see this clip of King Abdullah, the present king. He came to visit the Ziarah of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he offered his salams. He raised his hands while facing Rawza Sharifa. Imam Huzaifi is standing with him, and all the other muraqibs are over there. Nobody said anything. He made his dua while he never turned towards Qibla. He made dua while he was standing there raising his hands. And he touched the Jali Mubarak as well. And then he moved on.
No.
It shows that King Abdullah has love for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he has muhabbat and ishq of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah protect him and take the khidmat of deen from him. So, over here, normally in the adab they say that don't do so intentionally. If out of love someone just touches, it's okay. Hazrat Shaykh al-Hadith Maulana Muhammad Zakaria rahmatullahi alayhi is practice narrated by our Hazrat Maulana Yusuf Mutala Sahab Namal Barakatuhum in the subject of ishq of our mashayikh with Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Hazrat, one of his bayan was very beautiful about ishq of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So he said that we used to take Hazrat Shaykh rahmatullahi alayhi in Masjid Nabawi, and he would sit by Aqdam Aliyah near Jali Mubarak. Now at that time there was, this platform which they have made now, it was not there. And you could sit right next to Jali Mubarak, right next to that area, and nothing between you and the Jali Mubarak. So Hazrat Shaykh would sit over there, and he would sit in muraqabah for hours and hours, undistracted, totally focused in his muraqabah. And at times, when Hazrat would notice that the haram is empty and nobody is there, Hazrat would quietly, secretly creep his hand inside Jali Mubarak, and whatever dust he can get, he would take the dust in his hand and he would rub it on his face. That this is the dust and ghubar of Rawza Sharifa. Hazrat Maulana Khalid Ahmad Saharanpuri Rahmatullah, his Ishq Rasul. Hazrat mentioned this incident that one Haji from India came with a Qafla caravan. His father was with him, who was elderly, and his father fell ill. And the caravan's departure time was near. He was very disturbed. He came to Hazrat, he said, Hazrat, please make dua. Our Qafla and caravan is departing. On those days the journey would be on camels. So I can't be left behind on my own. I have to travel with them. But my father is ill. I don't know what to do. I can't leave him behind, and I can't take him with the caravan because he can't travel in such a state. What should I do? Hazrat said, Inshallah, we'll make dua. But I'll tell you something. You know the Riyazul Jannah area and the carpet that is spread out there. When Masjid Nabawi is closed at night, it's about to close, go in there and whatever dust you can gather, you gather the dust from that Riyazul Jannah area, take it home and put it in some Zamzam water or something, make some sort of lip, paste, and put that paste on your father's face. Inshallah, Allah will cure him. And he did that for 2 or 3 days, and his father was cured, and he was able to travel with the caravan. This is our Mashayikh's ishq and love for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How this love has been taken away from us, and we have been detached and distracted from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We need to attach ourselves with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in this day and age. So, over here, while you are there, make your salam with utmost honesty, sincerity, humility, humbleness, and make dua, ask Rasulullah for his intercession. When you finish, you move on to salam for Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. You say salam to him that, O Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, you are the Khalifa of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You are the father-in-law of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You are so fortunate. You gave your daughter to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was pleased with you. You are from the people of Jannah. We thank you for the service and khidmat of deen you did for this ummah, and for during your khilafat, and for the work you did. May Allah reward you and elevate your ranks. I say salam to you from myself, from all those who send salams to you. Move on to Sayyidina Umar, that, O Umar, you are also the father-in-law of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You gave your daughter to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was happy with you. We thank you for your services. May Allah shower His blessings and mercy and peace upon you. And then salam from myself, from all those who have conveyed their salams, sent their salams, and I am conveying them. After you finish, you move a few steps back to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Say salams to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam again. That, Ya Rasulullah, I am now going to my place of residence. Please remember me in your du'as. May Allah shower His mercy and salat and salam and peace and blessings upon you. And then after that, you need to make the dua when you are finished from all three salams. And it is better to make dua while you are facing Rawda. And if you can't do that, turn your back, but don't turn your back immediately towards Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Move a little bit further on that side or this side, and then make dua. And after you have finished your dua, make your way out of Masjid Nabawi. Some ulama have said that after Salatu Salam, go back to Riyazul Jannah and try and pray some rakats at special places. Like, for example, Ustuwane Abu Lubaba, Ustuwane Aisha, Ustuwane Haras, Ustuwane Wufud. There are some pillars in Masjid Nabawi upon which it is written in green, golden writings on green background, that this is Ustuwane Abu Lubaba, this is Ustuwane Aisha. So if you can find some space there, pray 2 rakats. There is great significance of those pillars. Like, for example, Ustuwane Abu Lubaba is that place where Abu Lubaba al-Ansari radiyallahu anhu's tawbah was accepted. He had made a mistake at the battle of Banu Qurayza. He sort of indicated to Banu Qurayza what would happen to them if they agreed for Sa'd ibn Mu'az to be their judge. It's a long story. During Ghazwa Khandaq in the year 5th after Hijrah, 10,000 mushriks came to crush Medina, and they told Banu Qurayza to betray Muslims and ally with them. So they would attack from that side, Qurayza from this side, and Muslims could be crushed in between. So Banu Qurayza agreed, they betrayed, they broke their treaty. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's will was that the comrades were defeated, Ahzab, and they had to go away, and Banu Qurayza were left on their own. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that you have to deal with Banu Qurayza now. So he immediately rushed towards the area of Banu Qurayza, surrounded them and they protected themselves in their fort, castle, for maybe 15-20 days. And after that, they agreed to do some sulah, and they said the judge between us should be Sa'd ibn Mu'az, because during the time of Jahiliyyah they had friendship with Sa'd ibn Mu'az. They thought he would be lenient towards us. So they said, we want to go on, but we want to make mashwara with Abu Lubaba first, because he was also our friend. So they called upon Abu Lubaba. So Abu Lubaba and Sa'd went, and they said that, look, we are thinking of going on the Faisla and judgment of Sa'd ibn Mu'az. What do you reckon? So Abu Lubaba said, Sa'd ibn Mu'az, if he is made a judge, he is going to finish you off. And immediately he said, what did I do? I shouldn't have said that. It's a betrayal. I have betrayed Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he immediately left that scene, stood up and ran away. And rather than going to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was so remorseful and regretful that he went to Masjid Nabawi and Madinah Munawarrah, which was about 3-4 miles. He rushed to Madinah Munawarrah, and he came to Masjid Nabawi, and he tied himself with that pillar in Masjid Nabawi. And he said, I'll either die over here, or Allah accepts my tawbah, one of the two things will happen. If He doesn't accept my tawbah, I'm not going to eat, I'm not going to drink, I'm not going to let myself loose, I'm going to stay here until I die. And he tied himself. He was sincere in his tawbah. And the battle over there finished. Rasulullah came back. After about 5 to 7 days, Abu Lubaba was still there. Allah tested him. And he was there, he was just sort of going to die, pass away. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed some ayat in the Quran. He accepted the tawbah of Abu Lubaba al-Ansari radiyallahu anhu. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la takhunu Allah wal rasul wa takhunu amanatikum wa antum ta'lamun wa alamu annama amwalukum wa awladukum fitna wa anna Allah indahu ajrun azim. And لقد تاب الله على النبي والمهاجرين والأنصار والذين اتبعوه في ساعة العسرة. So in those ayat Allah mentioned his tawbah. So Rasulullah came and untied the rope which he tied himself, and he said, Allah has accepted your tawbah. So that ustuwana pillar is still there. So if you go and pray over there, Allah will accept your tawbah as well. It's a blessed place. Then there is the ustuwana of Sarir. This is the place where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's bedding was placed during the time of i'tikaf. There is a pillar now over there. When he used to perform i'tikaf, his bedding would be placed over there where ustuwana Sarir is. Then there is ustuwana Tahajjud. It's also named as ustuwana Aisha, because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to pray Tahajjud near that sutur. And another ustuwana is named ustuwana Aisha. It's named ustuwana Aisha because once Aisha radiallahu anha said, there is a place in this masjid where if I were to mention the virtue of praying salat over there, then people would fight for getting some place to pray over there. So I'm not going to tell because there will be arguments and fights for it. And it is said that she told her nephew Abdullah ibn Zubair radiallahu anhu. And Abdullah ibn Zubair used to pray over there. So then people realized that this is the spot towards which she was indicating. So it's named Ustuwane Aisha. And then there is Ustuwane Wufud. There is a pillar where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would greet the Wufud and delegations from other countries. So there was a special place, he would go and sit with them over there. And then there is Ustuwane Haras. Haras means Chokidari, night duty, and protection. So Sahabas would come and spend the night over there protecting the house of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and keeping a watch throughout the night. In the beginning, until Allah revealed, Wallahu ya'simuka minan nas. So that's named Ustuwana Haras. So these are few pillars in that area of Riyazul Jannah. So you can go over there, pray some 2 rakats here and there, and get the sawab of praying there. Also, pray 2 rakats at the place of Ashab Sufa. Because Ashab Sufa were blessed people, they were Sufi, Buzrugs, Sahaba. Sometimes they would be between 70 to 100, 200, sometimes they would go up to 300. These were people who would migrate from their places. They would have no one in Madinah Munawarrah. They would just stay in Madinah, in Sufa, near Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Stay in his company, benefit from him. That's why they were named Ashab Sufa. So where they used to reside, they used to stay, that is called Ashab Sufa place. So it's at the back of Riyazul Jannah. Pray Abu Jali Mubarak, pray 2 rakat there. These are some special places. Other than these, there are other places inside the Masjid Nabawi to visit as well. For example, the gate of Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu, which is on the right side near Babu Salam. Khawkhatu Abu Bakr Siddiq. Abu Bakr Siddiq's house was over there, and he would come out of his house and wait for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When Rasulullah would come out of his house from this side, they would both look at one another and smile, and then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would proceed towards the Musalla. Abu Bakr would come and stand behind him in the first saf, and that's how namaz would take place. So that was where the house of Abu Bakr Siddiq was. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, during his last days, he said, all the doors opening inside Masjid Nabawi should be closed down except for the door of Abu Bakr Siddiq. This was an indication that he is going to be my Khalifa, so he will need to come in and out of Masjid Nabawi. So his doors should be left. Other doors opening in Masjid Nabawi should be closed off, and people should use the other door of the other side. So that place, special place of Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu's house, and other places In that area is the house of Sayyid Abu Ayyub Ansari radiallahu anhu, where Rasulullah stayed for 7 months as a guest. So that is now, I think it's included in Masjid Nabawi. If you can get someone who is from Madinah Munawarrah, he might be able to take you around and show you the exact location of the house of Abu Ayyub Ansari radiallahu anhu. Also on the left hand side, there is the place where Sayyidina Jibreel alayhi salam used to come, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to make dawah with him of Quran in Ramadan. So that area. Also when you come out of Masjid Nabawi, there is Musalla al-Janaiz. You just visit that place, you look at it, you don't need to pray anything over there, but you can just understand that Rasulullah used to pray janazah outside Masjid Nabawi, not inside, because that was the place called Musalla al-Janaiz. These are just some places within Masjid Nabawi and its area vicinity. Then you also go to Ziarah of Baqi'ul Gharqad. When you go to Ziarah of Baqi'ul Gharqad, you enter inside the gates. As you enter in the gates, on your right hand side in front of you are the mazarat and the graves of Ahlul Bayt Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sayyida Fatimatu Zahra radiyallahu anha, Sayyiduna Abbas radiyallahu anhu, Sayyiduna Hassan radiyallahu anhu, and some say the head of Sayyiduna Hussain radiyallahu anhu is also here. Imam Zainul Abidin. All these family members of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam are buried over here. So when you enter, you first say salam to them. Assalamu alaikum ya Ahlul Bayt warahamathullahi wabarkatahu. You say salam to all Ahlul Baqi first, the whole of Baqi'ul Gharqad. As soon as you enter the gate, Assalamu alaikum ya Ahlul Gharqad dar qawmin mu'mineen antum salafuna wa inna Insha'Allah bikum lahiqun yaghfirullahu lana wa lakum wa yarhamullahu al-mustaqdimina minna wal mustakhirin. It's written over there on big boards. So you read that salam, say salam to all Baqi'ul Gharqad, then you go to Ahlul Bayt, say salam to them, and then you move on. Or when you turn towards your left, there are the graves of small 6-7 stones. There is the graves of the wives of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's, I think 9 wives are buried over there. Khadija radiallahu anha is in Makkah, Hazrat Maymuna radiallahu anha is in Sarif, and the other 9 wives are in Baqi'ul Gharqad. And as you move on, there are 4 small stones. There are the graves of the daughters of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the name of Hazrat Zainab, Hazrat Ruqayya, Hazrat Kulsum. They are buried over there. And then moving on, there is the grave of Imam Nafi', who was the Imam, who was at first the freed slave of Abdullah ibn Umar, and he was a great Imam of Hadith and Tafsir and Fiqh. He is buried. Imam Malik is buried beside him. You say salam to both of them, and then you move on and you go pass by the grave of Ibrahim, son of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who was a little boy. Say salam to him and move on. You have to go quite a distance to the grave of Sayyidina Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu. You say salam to Sayyidina Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu, and just along that side there is the grave of Sayyidina Abu Sa'id al-Khudri radiallahu anhu. And then on your return, you come from the other side, there is the graves of Shuhadas of Harra. In the year 61, Yazid bin Muawiyah sent an army to attack the people of Medina. And the people of Medina tried to defend themselves, but they were defeated and many became shaheed. They are buried in that area, Shuhada of Harra. Then you move on and you come to the grave of Safiya binti Abdul Muttalib, the pupi and auntie of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And also there is the grave of Fatima binti Asad, the mother of Sayyiduna Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu. So she is buried. So you say salam to all these people, and if you can, if someone is there, they can guide you, or you can take some naqsha with you, and it will be helpful. So you say salam to them. And then there are other places of visiting in Madinah Munawarrah, like Shuhada Uhud. You go to Shuhada Uhud, 70 Shuhadas, Sayyidu Shuhada Hamza radiallahu anhu. You say salam to them. And you go to Khandaq, where Khandaq battle took place. There were 7 masajid over there, but they have been broken down, and just one big one is made over there. And also there are 7 wells in around Madinah Munawarrah, from which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself drank water. Bir Aris, Bir Ghars, Bir Buda'a, Bir Ha, and Bir Ruma. So Bir means well, and these others are their names. Bir Aris is the one from which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to normally drink. And once Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sitting over here, and he dropped some of his saliva inside that river, inside that well as well. So you get the barakat of that water. You can drink from that water. People used to go drink and fill some bottles from there. At the moment now, Saudis have blocked it down, and they don't let you get into that area. So we just visit it from a distance and move on. So Biri, it is that same well in which the anguti and ring of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam fell, and it disappeared. The ring of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, on which was engraved Muhammad Rasul Allah, in such a way that Muhammad at the bottom, Rasul on top, and Allah on top, because this was due to show adab and respect to the name of Allah. Rasulullah did not write his name on top, Muhammad Rasul Allah. He wrote Muhammad Rasul Allah. So this ring of his, he used to wear it during his time, and after his death it was passed on to his Khalifa Abu Bakr, then he passed it on to his Khalifa Umar, and he passed it on to his Khalifa Usman. So Usman radiallahu anhu was once sitting on Bidi Hadith, and he is taking out the ring and wearing it, taking it out, wearing it, and somehow suddenly it fell and it went right inside the well. So Usman radiallahu anhu exhorted himself in somehow bringing it out. He dried out, opened up the whole well and took the whole water out, but he couldn't find that ring, and it disappeared and it was lost. So that was the that is Bidi Aris, and so we must try and take drink water from there. Also Bidi Ghas and Bidi Ruma, Bidi Buda'a, Bidi Ha. These are wells from which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to drink, and water was brought from it. Suqiya is another well over there. If we come, it's hard. Other places to visit are Masjid Quba and Masjid Qiblatain. They take us to visit. Masjid Quba, there is virtue for going Masjid Quba on Saturday. If you go perform 2 rakats Umrah, you get sawab of Maqbool. I think Maqbool Hajj and Umrah, Dr. Sahib, Yasir Umrah hai. Umrah hai. Maqbool Umrah. So you get sawab of Maqbool Umrah, accepted Umrah, if you go and pray 2 rakats over there. So if you can do so, it is better on Saturday, if not any other day. And so this is regarding visit to Masjid Quba. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would sometimes go walking to Masjid Quba, and sometimes riding. Normally he would go walking. That is because Rasulullah was a very nice person, and he was very grateful. And because the people of Quba, they provided residence for him for 2 weeks, for 14 days when he migrated. They made him feel at home. So he stayed there for 2 weeks, and then he came to the city of Madinah Munawarrah. So he remembered their favor and ihsan, and to repay them, he would visit them every Saturday, once a week. He would go sit with them. People of Quba would gather around him, and they would feel nice. And then after a while, after praying namaz, he would come back. So he said there is virtue for praying salat in Masjid Quba. Pray there, pray there. Masjid Qiblatain, there is no special virtue for praying in Masjid Qiblatain, but it's just a historical place. King Fahd made that masjid. When we went many years ago, 20 years ago, there was only a small masjid over there. But now King Fahd has made it a big masjid, and there is big car park. People go to visit Masjid Qiblatain. Go. The Masjid Qiblatain is that place in which namaz was prayed to Qiblas. Not by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but by some Sahaba rizwanullahi alayhim. That Qibla was turned from Baytul Maqdis to Baytullah Sharif. Now they are both in opposite direction. Madinah Munawwarah is in middle, Makkah is in the south, and Baytul Maqdis, Jerusalem, is in the north. So when Rasulullah migrated from Makkah to Madinah, there were Jews around the area of Medina. So Allah wanted to bring them closer and make friendship with them. So He said that to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when you are praying, pray towards Jerusalem. So he would come closer and make friendship with them. But after 16, 17 months, they stayed as stubborn as they were, and their stubbornness increased rather than decreasing and being lenient. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, that's it now, you don't need to be soft with them, turn your face towards Qibla now, Ka'batullah Sharif. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam turned his face towards Baytullah Sharif. Now someone who had prayed Salat with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam towards Baytullah, he left Masjid Nabawi and he was passing by this area where Masjid al-Qiblatain is. And people were praying Salat over there, and there was one Imam and maybe 3-4 Muqtadis. So they were facing Baytul Maqdis, and they had prayed 2 rakats, and they were in their 3rd rakat, the ruku of their 3rd rakat. So this person passed by and said, "Oh, what are you doing? Why you are praying towards Baytul Maqdis? The Qibla has been turned towards Kaabatullah Sharif, turn towards Kaabatullah Sharif." So in their namaz, in the state of ruku, the Imam moved to this side and the Muqtadis also moved. And then they completed their other 2 rakats. So one namaz was prayed in 2 directions. That's why it's called Masjid of Qiblatain, the Masjid of 2 Qiblas. So we go there and visit and remember this incident of Masjid al-Qiblatain. I don't know, but sometimes we feel a little bit of suspicious, when you get a bit cynical, why they are paying so much importance to Masjid al-Qiblatain. And Rasulullah did not pray over there. But when we think, once I went for bayan to one masjid, and after the Friday Jummah bayan, this young man comes to me and he says that, "Maulana Sahab, why is there so much nasakh and abrogation in the Quran?" I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "So many mansukh ahkam, like Qibla is mansukh, and this is mansukh. Why does Allah mansukh? Does Allah not know that He had to give this order? Does He make mistakes? Does He forget?" So I understood where he was coming from. I said, oh. I said, first of all, we need to understand the meaning of nasakh and abrogation. The meaning of nasakh is that Allah SWT gives some order for a particular amount of time. When that time finishes, Allah SWT says, now this is the order. Like a hakim, doctor, he gives medicine for some term, and after 1 month or 1 week, 1 month, he changes that medicine. Because he sees the change of condition of that sickly person. So similarly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for some reason gives one command to a certain amount, and then Allah changes that command. And this is nasakh, this is abrogation. And second thing is, don't think that the whole Quran is filled with abrogation. The masail that are abrogated are a few. You can count them on your fingers. Maybe just Qibla, Muta'a, and a few other ahkam. Otherwise, there is not so much nasakh. So he said that, oh Maulana Sahab, you have taken some weight off my shoulders. I am studying Islamic studies in my university, and the professor during the Islamic study, he put on this objection that in Islam there is nasakh. Then why does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala abrogate ahkam? This is not possible. Does Allah make mistake and He forget? So He created this doubt in my mind. And it was boggling my mind. But now I told him that, look, this nasakh and abrogation is not just in Islam. It's in the other books as well. It's in Torah, it's in Injil, it's in the other Shariahs as well. So he has no right to make this objection. So sometimes we think that they pay importance to the Masjid al-Qiblatain because it can raise this objection and doubt in the minds of the visitors. Otherwise, there is no virtue like Masjid al-Quba has virtue of two rakats maqbul. There is no virtue for Masjid al-Qiblatain, and you will get sawab of Umrah or anything. But people, make these things. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I hope my andaza and my guessing is wrong, but there are some suspicions and doubt over there behind this. Anyhow, visit these sites and visit the places. Whole Madinah Munawarrah is placed with barakat. There are many things left in Madinah Munawarrah. Try and pray all your namaz with Jamaat. 40 namaz with Jamaat, and you get 2 certificates, freedom from nifaq and freedom from Jahannam. Also, read as much Quran as you can, read as much Durood Sharif as you can. Spend maximum time in Masjid Nabawi, and these are the things to do in Masjid Nabawi. And keep in your mind that you are with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and be respectful. Don't do anything disrespectful to Masjid Nabawi or to Madinah Munawarrah. And these are something. Hazrat Shaykh Rahmatullah Alayhi has mentioned in his book 61 adab of Ziarah of Masjid Nabawi al-Sharif. So before you go, read this and read the adab of Masjid Nabawi. Very nice stories in here as well. Read those stories and you will feel that love of Madinah Munawarrah. May Allah give us tawfiq to practice and
Jazakallah.
understand.
Ameen.